Well, that was interesting. I found another way to shut off my broadcast, of course unintentionally. So there you go. I'm back. And what I wanted to do is, I'm not going to cover everything that I talked about. If you want to check it out, you can come on back and see. The liked video playlist that I've included onto my recording is powerful. I'm sure you guys, gals, people might think you could just type in a word search and find exactly what you're looking for. Good luck with that. One of the things that's happened is artificial intelligence is selectively giving you the information it wants you to have, whatever that is. Isn't that special? It's not just based on your previous search history or what you buy. It's what they want you to buy. And I'm not just talking products, I'm talking information. What they want you to believe. They? Who are they? Well, God is still sovereign, meaning He's in charge. He's all-powerful and all-knowing. That's special. That's actually priceless. That's why I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth, as I say. I wanted to get my coffee poured, so I'm not doing that while I'm driving. I don't have my hands on the phone, so I'm not violating any law. Even in Georgia, I believe it is. You're not supposed to have your hands on the phone when you're driving. There, it's a law, apparently. Some areas, it's a law to harvest rainwater. How about that? What's in that rainwater they don't want us to have? Well, it's not so much that they don't want us to have it, although that's part of it. It's what's in it. And they don't want somebody to be able to say, these are chemicals that were found in the rainwater, because if it's against the law to collect the rainwater, then I'm sure it can't be allowed as admissible as any kind of evidence, right? So, what would my work around that be? Well, I've got what's called a rainbow vacuum cleaner. It draws, I used to be a vacuum cleaner salesman when I was a kid. How about that? Sold a few of them. Aero Hydro was the name of the company that marketed those in Wisconsin. Anyway, it pulls air through a pocket of water. It'll take smoke out of the air. It'll take dust out of the air. When I've used my large flashlight to shine up into the sky and show you all the particulate that's moving around, that's a big deal. What's in that particulate? It's not good to be breathing it in. And when you swallow, after it's in your mucous membrane, well, it goes into your stomach. What happens then? Well, I'm convinced a certain aspect of augmented reality. What the heck is augmented reality? What are you talking about, Robert? Well, there's nanoparticulate, nanobots that are going into our body that are having an effect on perception of our world, what we perceive to be real. How about that? So some of the videos that I recently put on my liked video playlist deal with augmented reality, virtual reality, technology in that. Elon Musk launching fake space trips with the world's fastest production car ever, electric. The Roadster. 1.6 seconds, 0 to 60. Wow. That's mind-blowing. Anyway, Neuralink is the name of a company that he owns. Keep in mind, Elon Musk is an avatar like Mark Zuckerberg is, the Google representatives. These people, I'm not saying that they're robots. Yeah. Somebody is in trouble. In the view, we've got the ambulance, and then we've got the school bus. How would I say, the people in both are in trouble. unfortunately, a lot of the school children are going to be getting an indoctrination into a system that is a perpetuation of a false reality. It's not real, a lot of the world around us. So what we do have is, I believe, real rain, grass, trees, dirt, water. And then we have an integrated technology with computer programming that basically modifies our perception. From the artificial intelligence perspective, there is computer hardware, computer software, computer wetware. Do you know what wetware is? That'd be us. We're the wetware that the AI has been programming for a long time. Computers have been around for a long time. Demonic influences, fallen angels, look in Genesis 6, and you can see that, yes, we have aliens. The Bible says that God's children are foreigners and aliens in this land. Wow. I've got a heavenly Father. I've got a new nature. And, well, the creator of this world is going to be attending Flatoberfest through me. He's attended the other Flat Earth conferences through me. He lives in and through me. And all of his children that are actually born again now, and his spirit is all around. All around. He causes dead people to be alive. I was a walking dead man and didn't know it. How about that? Isn't that special? So when I was a slave to my own self-effort for self-pleasure, trying to make myself happy, whether it's putting candy in my mouth or candy in my eyes for my endorphins and dopamine and fantasy, whether it's space travel into the cosmos or space in the arms of a fantasy girl in a Playboy magazine. Yeah, I found my first Playboy magazine when I was 5 years old. That was around the time I had my first acid trip. Yeah, how about that? My parents weren't drug addicts. What happened was I was walking to school and a friend said, "Hey, do you want some cotton candy?" It was a rainy day. I remember it. I've got a photographic memory in case you haven't picked up on that. Well, what happened was I put the cotton candy in my mouth and I spit it out right away. I said, "That's cotton." The next thing I remember, a car levitated, revved up, and spun around. I don't remember any more of that day. It's not like I've got a memory of from when I was born to right now without any lapses. I've had blackouts, I've had near NDEs, near-death experiences, and then I'll have people say, those don't count. Oh, okay, so I almost died multiple times. They don't count? Okay, well, you can keep track of your own NDEs if you want. They counted for me. They gave me a healthy respect for what I get to do now, what I get to do every day. Okay, so I'm going to flip this on around, show you there's the hospital on the right, the planned community on the left. People will transition from young families to seniors to assisted living, and then right up the road on the right is a memorial garden where you can be planted. And then I'm going to go to the ocean where your ashes could be sprinkled. How about that? Is that a little macabre? Well, it's just the reality of the world we live in. 7 people per second no longer have the human experience. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. So if you're fortunate enough, I would dare say, to still be connected with me, you haven't unfriended and blocked me, congratulations. A lot of my friends in real life don't even have a clue what I'm doing. And some of them have probably just blocked me. I don't even think about them. I attended my class reunion digitally. One of the people that was putting it on, mentioned that the page for our class reunion wasn't meant to express my personal beliefs in that. I'm like, that's fine. I just shared my link, my invitation, and copied and pasted my YouTube channel and my Facebook on that. If my friends want to look at it, that's cool. I've got friends that are gender confused. Friends as in I've known them in school. It's a mess. There's gender confusion. Atrazine is a chemical. Alex Jones was made fun of for saying they're making frogs gay. They're making, well, what's happening is there's estrogen mimicking chemicals in plastic water bottles. Atrazine is a herbicide for, I believe it's an herbicide, or it's for corn products. We've got GMO products that are made so that they can tolerate like Roundup. Roundup Ready corn causes cancer. The base of the food supply is corn. There's corn all over the place. In the high fructose corn syrup, in your pancake syrup, or in Karo syrup, or in the beverage sweeteners and the fruit juice sweeteners. They just can't get enough of putting toxic garbage in our world, in our environment. That's why the think tank that I showed on the previous broadcast was my bathtub with highly purified water. And when I was done with all the scrubbing up, then I added my borax and baking soda. Okay, so when I first got in and soaked and relaxed my muscles, that purified water goes into the skin like a sponge, replaces a lot of the water that I'm going to want to get rid of. Okay, I've lost tons of weight in my lifetime, water passing through me. The problem for many people is the water that is going through them has a tremendous amount of toxic chemicals in it. The Great Culling is a video that talks about water fluoridation on my liked video playlist. You can scroll through and check it out if you want. The toxic chemicals that are being found in the water are debilitating. They impair cognitive function. Pharmaceuticals, Prozac. I nearly died. I had a successful suicide attempt, one that you can walk away from. In 2005, I walked away from mine. I was on Prozac and Depakote. They talk about you may have more frequent urination, unusual thoughts. You may think of killing your family and yourself. They don't mention that one. On Satan's Industry of Death video, or Making a Killing, another title on the pharmaceutical industry, they talk about the human tragedy, the death and destruction around the pharmaceutical industry. Satan's Industry of Death, look at psychiatry. It is a train wreck. Look at MK Ultra's declassified CIA experimentation on the population of the world, not just the United States. So, am I bummed out about all this stuff? I'm telling. Show and tell, baby. Show and tell. I have hashtag titles that hopefully people will happen across and be able to understand the reality of the world that we live in. That's why I do it. And it's met with some really love what I do, and they love me, and some love to hate me. Either way, it works. It's not the result that I want for the haters. I don't want for people to hate what I do. Some of those people may have a change of heart. They may be given a new heart. They may be given a heart of flesh, as God's Word talks about. May be given a new nature. That's what happened to me. So I was given a new nature, a love for the truth concurrently, simultaneously. So the Holy Spirit took up residence, gave me a passion, purpose, an eternal perspective, and the power to do what I previously could not do, and the pleasure to enjoy it all, even in the face of tremendous opposition. When I share a video and I click like on a video, that like sends that video to millions of occurrences of my liked videos playlist. I made a hashtag title of that. I wanted people to conceptually understand that if you can type Command C and Command V, copy and paste that on your stuff. That counts. It's on my photo album. My photo album has thousands and thousands of occurrences of thousands and thousands of pictures with thousands of links of my liked videos playlist. That's why I did that. How about that? Some people are really glad I did that. I get calls from, well, people, a lot of people from all over in a variety of different perspectives. Okay, so I'm at the Coastal Preserve right now. The water is high right now. Oh wow, we've got a lot of cranes out on the end of the dock out there. It's sprinkling. Now, the iPhone 11 is water resistant to up to 6 feet underwater. So what I'm going to do is take a towel to dry off my lens if I need to, and take us for a walk out there by those cranes. I'm going to kind of creep up on the cranes and show you high water, a little bit of sprinkles. Actually, quite a bit of wind. That's probably about a 15-mile-an-hour wind coming from my back, from behind me. I've got video and photos of perfect symmetry, beautiful reflections out here. All of this marsh grass is up here because of high tide and big storms. The wood there indicates big storms that busted docks loose and that, floating docks. We don't have the toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. It's just water seeking its level. It's what it does all over the face of this stationary earth. Non-movement. We can see the concentric circles of the ripples of the rain. Out there it's more rippled because of all the wind. When we had Hurricane Matthew, the water went over the top of the railing here. That's why these houses around here are on stilts. They're elevated because that's a way to give them, you know, like 15 or 20 feet higher. That's the Prince Resort there. The Cherry Grove Fishing Pier is right in front. The open ocean is there. They're still out there. Yeah, they don't know I'm here. That bird right down there knows I'm here. He stopped moving. His buddies up there don't know I'm here yet. Yeah, he's concerned. Now they know. They know something's up. Yep, he's off. Isn't that something? Aerodynamics. The tide's coming in and up. I wonder if this still works the way it's supposed to. I'm going to flip it around. That's the quickest way to zoom out. All the water in the world should be an indicator of the impossibility of the globe, no matter how freaking hard the modern theoretical physicists want to tell us about gravity. We have rainfall. Dadgummit. I get calls sometimes. People want to school me on how I need to learn science and physics. Well, they want to go to school, my school, just come on over to my channel and look at the documentaries that I share, and I'll talk about it too. Imagine me being at a loss for words. When I was on lithium, I was a drooling vegetable. I couldn't even remember where the words were. It was a chemical lobotomy. Thorazine is another way that they can go in and just totally mess up a person's brain. However, fluoride in the water supply, in the toothpaste, in the baby water too. Oh my gosh, the bottled water for babies are putting fluoride in there too. If you understand that fluoride is a toxic substance that impairs cognitive function, why would you give that to, why would you use that? You'll be getting a handicap spot mentally. I put this in my videos from time to time. I'll do it again. There's a dead end sign here, and it says no turnaround. It's a bit of a meme, a video meme. When you're dead, there's no turnaround. That's why I talk about this. Now right now we can see the reflection of the Prince Resort there, but it's too windy and rainy to show the perfect mirror that it is. However, it exists in other occurrences of the work that I do. I don't know if any of you watching this feel sorry for me. Please, I mean, you can do whatever you can do. I'm enjoying this. That's just what it does. That's the reality of the world that we live in. They put the drains in the lowest part of the parking lot. Actually, this spot is a little bit lower, but it can't get to that spot. No big deal. It's not a deal breaker. Oh, you know what? I don't know what's going on with my transparent hearing. I'm not as happy with it. I prefer not having the earbuds in. So I'm going to try that for a while, and I'll evaluate the sound as well later. The Park and Recreation team, they do a great job of keeping this area nice. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, if you scroll through my liked videos playlist and you like a video and you make that liked video playlist of yours publicly available and you put it somewhere, like copy and paste it wherever you want it to be, wherever you can, that'll give you an opportunity to expose what you believe is important, even if it's just photography and things like that. It doesn't have to be the kaleidoscope of actual conspiracies that I've covered. Because of the nature of exposing the deception in this world, it's on my channel too. even though I call my channel Truth. And I believe ultimately Jesus Christ, also known as Yeshua, Yahweh, the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, the Most High, the Most Holy, and more. Many names, many titles. My Heavenly Father. Even though I believe His word is true, ultimately, and interchangeable with reality, I'm exposing the deception on my channel as well. So it's going to be between you and Him if you actually get the empowering and the presence of the Holy Spirit. By accurate definition, I believe a child of God will absolutely be born of His Spirit before their body stops working. And then they'll be ushered into an eternity in heaven. Jesus says, the living word says, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Right at hand. I'm one heartbeat away from no longer having the function of this body. We can be resuscitated with an AED, and an electric defibrillator. There's electricity all around us. In the stray voltage from high power wires, lightning, the aurora borealis. There's so much to cover. So much to cover. And the reason why I do this is to provide you with a catalyst for consideration and some practical steps that you can do. If you scroll through my liked videos and you see information that's new to you that you believe is valuable that you've come across, that's great. If you find some things that you would like to send to me, you could do that. You could send it to robertforsch@gmail.com. You might want to call me too, because I've got like 250,000 emails, most of which I haven't read. Each notification that I get turns into an email. When Facebook says you've had 100,000 likes this past year, or 80,000, I believe it was last year, each one of those turns into a notification. And then there's all the extra stuff. Some refer to me as spamming. Well, spam isn't spam if you're starving. If you think you got it all figured out, cheers. You got to make sure you actually have it figured out. Are you actually born again? How deceived can a person be and actually be born again? I don't know. That's not a question that I have the answer for exactly. What I can tell you is, I thought I was born again until I actually was. I thought I was in 1982, until I actually was in 2014, right after Robin Williams committed suicide. Because I thought, am I going to do that? Because I don't want to live anymore. But I didn't want to kill myself because, well, God's word says, don't you know you're a temple of the Holy Spirit and God will destroy those who destroy His temple? Not a good suicide verse. Not a good one to encourage somebody to commit suicide. I would say, don't do it. Whatever you do, don't do that. I would say, seek the truth with all your heart, because it matters for eternity. So I get people that call me, even disagree with me, and seem to enjoy the conversation. That's so ironic. It happened again yesterday. And I have a lot of fun with that. Sometimes I'll mention the topics. I pretty much reserve anonymity of the individuals who call, because I'm typically not gonna highlight some things that I think are a bit embarrassing. Sometimes I will. The haters, there are haters that say things about me that aren't true. So what do I have to prove they're wrong or they're lying? I put my name out there so that people can, okay, I'll do it for illustrative purposes. Okay, so I'll flip this around and you can hashtag my name, or you can just type it in a search and see what you come up with. And then here's the other interesting dynamic. Your search will very likely have a vastly different search result than mine will or somebody else will. And it depends on whether or not you go to the library. I'm going to go to the library and search my name. I believe I've done it already. So it'll know that I'm walking into the library. The artificial intelligence, of course. I've got to sign in, sign on. People can sneak around. You can put your cell phone at home, plug it in somewhere and drive away. Will it think you're there? Well, probably not. Not when you get in your vehicle and drive through, through who knows how many surveillance cameras, red light cameras. You walk into a Walmart, you're on any computer camera that's connected to the internet. It feeds into the insatiable hunger that AI has for data, information, control, and power, energy, control of the data, control of the population, control of the wetware, the people. The people. Give control back to the people. Yeah. So I wear a helmet now when I ride the motorcycle most every time, simply because I don't want to have additional brain trauma. I've had that before. Go figure. So I still have a little itchy in my ears. Here's how this happened today. I was bathing in the drinking water and I'm still having like too much skin that's kind of like there's some kind of a growth that's happening in the skin around my ear canal, which is dreadfully close to the brain. It's like a fungus type of thing. You get athlete's foot and candida in the GI, the gastrointestinal tract, which gives off toxic results for the brain, toxic input for the brain. Okay, so what I did, right at the end of my bath, I took baking soda granular, stuck my fingers in the bag there and did this. And then I did the same with borax, they're both antifungal and super powerful alkaline cleaners. Well, feels better. I get a lot of skin out of my ear each day. Hopefully that'll stop. Since that wasn't enough, I took some of my Old Spice and sprayed a little in each ear. That's got a high percentage of alcohol. I want to kill whatever needs to be killed. Just so you know, from what I understand, dandruff is a fungus. It's a premature cell death, but you can look it up. One of the reasons why barbers, cosmetologists have their combs in Barbasol with alcohol. It kills fungus. It's just one of the most effective fungus killers, and it kills a lot of brain cells too. A lot of people putting alcohol in their body. I used to drink alcohol for breakfast and smoke cigarettes in the shower. Not a great combination, but I was like less than 20 years old, and what the heck, life's a party. I might as well live it up. Well, I'm 58 now. I don't look it. I don't feel it. I feel better than I ever did. And it isn't just how my skin looks, it's how I feel walking obediently with God. It's time to go to the beach. Let's do that. Woo! You think there'll be a lot of beach bathers out there? Well, probably not, right? Not with it looking like this. One of the best kept secrets, it's not a secret I'm telling, is the autumn, fall, and winter is absolutely gorgeous here. This is the golfing capital of the world, apparently, the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area. Roughly 20 million guests a year. Take a look at the cars coming by. There's my friend Linda, I think, in her Lexus. That little sport coupe is supercharged. Woohoo! Yeah, how about that? A supercharger has no lag like a turbocharger. A supercharger compresses air, rams it into the combustion chamber of a vehicle. No lag time. It's a blower. I had a Park Avenue that was supercharged. Now Gable has that. He's our youngest son. I hope he got his license now. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Augmented reality, virtual reality, giving the illusion of activity that's not actually having. To digress back to me finding pornography when I was 5 years old, I wasn't looking for it. I didn't even know it existed. When I found the Playboy magazine under the rock where I was building a fort, I thought, well, this certainly isn't something to take to the dinner table. I've got to take it to the hideout, like a Little Rascals. Like we had places where we would build forts and take it to our fort. So that's part of the affecting the development of people's perception of this world. Pornography has a degrading effect on how people view other people, like toys, like pleasure toys, rather than the wonderful creation of God that we are as people. It devalues our humanity. So I think since it's so windy and rainy, I'm gonna just park us in the spot where we get a little bit of a view of the ocean without me actually going out on the beach. So the wind moves the water a lot, and a storm surge is a sustained amount of wind causing the water to stack up to a definite shoreline that has a configuration to it. This is a south-facing beach. Much of the storm damage misses us here. It's you can look at the coastline of the Myrtle Beach area. This is at the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier. Now, they'll get waves that'll be 30 and 40 feet big up in North Carolina, Nags Head and that. You can look at stuff like that. Here we're somewhat protected. We had, in the last decade, probably over $100 million of beach renourishment that has taken place here. So they pump sand up on the beach with diesel-powered pumps, and they vacuum up sand off the bottom of the ocean, several miles out. In the process of that, I did a lot of videography of it, showing the beauty of the creation, the people and curiosity that the people would have of that process. Those diesel pumps would take water and push the equivalent of 1,500 dump truck loads of sand in 45 minutes. The sand was a 40% part of the 100% mix. We had 60% more that would be water that just goes back out to the ocean. In the process of that, I took the P1000 camera, a powerful instrument, a weapon of mass instruction. And what I did with that is I took the camera and inverted it, showed it upside down. It's one thing to see, and I called those VEMS, VEMES, hashtag VEMS. On my channel. If you think the organization of my channel is a bit off, I get that. I'm trying to have it so that I can help people to understand the reality of the world that we live in by showing sometimes the absurdity of the upside down world. I mean, it's one thing to see a dust bunny upside down, like, or a dandelion puffball, but to see a bulldozer upside down, it's meant to make you think. To show ships out on the ocean. Let me show you. Let me flip this around. I think yeah, okay. Ships upside down on the ocean close to the shoreline. It's very unusual to see a huge ship with like millions of yards of, or many yards of sand. How many are on there, I don't know. But they pump out 1,500 dump truck loads. It's like 3,000 yards of sand in 45 minutes. Sand is heavy. Somebody was trying to tell me yesterday, one of my conversations, that buoyancy isn't a force. Gravity is. I said, are you freaking kidding me? Try and hold a beach ball under the water. You can't do it. Just take a big beach ball with your own body and try and get it to go under the water. Is there a force there? Yeah. Okay, so I don't lose any sleep trying to convince somebody that very proudly asserts that they need to school me on physics and the first law of motion. I said, okay, so I had a question for him. I said, do you believe that when I'm going over a jump on my motorcycle and I hit the front brake, is it going to do anything? He said, no. I said, well, of course it will. It's going to make the front end of the motorcycle go down. That wheel going in a forward motion, when stopped, will cause that inertia to take the front of the motorcycle down. That's how people can do so many interesting aerobatics on motorcycles. The Red Bull guys, they're part of the Grand Deception. Felix Baumgartner jumping from space, apparently. It's ridiculous. You can look it up. The horizon is straight through the camera in the cabin, and then they're showing the curvature of the Earth that is absolutely absurd. It looks like a freaking beach ball, and he's, however the distance he is, it's just ridiculous. Okay. So people are going to believe what they want to believe, largely, right? What is that? What do they want to believe? What do you want to believe? Do you want to believe I'm a crazy guy, so this whole Jesus thing and having commandments is real? If you want to believe I'm crazy so you can go along and eat, drink, and be merry and do what you want with who you want, and oh well, it's not on my watch. There aren't going to be people in hell because I didn't spend enough time doing what I do. Everybody that needs to be in hell will be there. Everybody that needs to be in hell will be there. So why do I do anything at all? Well, that's pretty elementary. Because God created me to do what I do. He put the want to do what he created me to do. So in the paradigm of unpacking the allegorical implications of The Matrix, the allegory of the movie The Matrix, groundbreaking philosophical presentation of augmented reality and questioning our own reality, and groundbreaking cinematography, right? Okay, you can check it out. So I do it. Why? Mr. Smith says, why do you persist? Because I choose to. What a paradox when they're questioning determinism and predestination and human volitional choice. Well, when God chooses for me to do what he wants me to do, he just helps me to want to do it. How about that? Yeah, I wasn't blowing a gasket or anything. How about that? I've had remember, for those of you who are, I forget exactly the terminology, the Sanka decaffeinated. Dang it, Jim! We look at like Star Trek, and who was it? Dr. I forget what the doctor's name was. He was in the Sanka commercials. His friend or spouse was irritated, and he recommended Sanka because it didn't have the caffeine. Well, I like my caffeine. Oh, what's my watch telling me to do? I got one of these Apple Watches. I only know how to use a few of the features right now. I'm sorry I can't take requests right now. Please try again later. I'm on a live broadcast. Now I can use my device as a hotspot and fire up more devices if I want, and link to them if I want to. One's enough. One camera is enough. Sometimes I'll have two. I'll wear the I'll attach the iPhone on top of this camera with a mounting bracket. Sometimes I've had it in a gimbal, and that was interesting. That worked out well.
I'm not sure I understand.
Hey Siri, what's my elevation? Yeah, she doesn't know. I've had results right here at the ocean. I'll flip it around so you can see. What, Siri? What's going on? Hey Siri. Yeah. Anyway, I've had results of anywhere from 10 feet above sea level to 260 feet above sea level right here. Well, they can't both be right. They could both be wrong. That's part of the deal. Opposing views can't both be correct, except in quantum physics and Schrodinger's cat and all this garbage they come up with. They're making this stuff up. So they're lying and I ain't buying. I'm binary. I'm not a man. I'm a man. I'm not a yet to be determined. Non-binary. Somebody with a whole bunch of piercings and tattoos and non-binary. I want to be like you look at Miley Cyrus, a pansexual. Oh well, whatever. That's pan is like Satan in do your own thing, and you can look it up. You can check it out. The goat man porn thing, just weird, decadent, corruptive, and it's in a lot of the children's movies. Pan is there. They put porn right there. Now the device that I'm on right now, or one like it, there are children on smartphones before they walk, about a third of them. What's going to happen with that? Well, they potentially have access to the truth, and it's going to be a lot harder to find that truth on the television that's connected to the mainstream media. As I showed in my earlier broadcast that I unintentionally interrupted, I had my YouTube channel with the beautiful, relaxing music on one TV, and then on the other TV in the bathroom next to the think tank, I had my audio Bible that I showed. Hundreds of hours of the audio Bible merged with the beauty of creation. Can you hear the rainfall? That's what it's doing. It's falling. The birds are flying. It's the reality of the world we live in. So the person that I had a long conversation with yesterday, I said, I'd like to move on from this whole flat earth thing and say, when you can't fog a mirror, where are you going to be for eternity? He said, well, that's a good question. I said, yeah, I like to get to that one pretty quick. Now, some of my haters that I know really well, I live with one of them. It's my wife. She thinks that I'm not spending enough time telling people about Jesus, and I'm deceiving people about this whole shape of the earth thing. Well, she says, I hear you on the phone. Well, part of it is, or she'll watch what I'm talking about, I'm directing people to be born again. I think pretty well. pretty well. I hope you've noticed that. The reason why I bring up even the family opposition within my household is to let you know it's not all sunshine and flowers for me. Yeah, I get to go to the beach. I love doing that. I love telling people about what I have found out in how to deal with the difficulty of life by being born again. It isn't, so she'll remind me of how I knew the difference between right and wrong, and I was an active drug user, an alcoholic. And I said, I know that I knew it was wrong. I didn't have the power to stop doing it. Yeah, you knew better. Yeah, so a lot of drug addicts and prostitutes know better. Yeah, prostitutes. You can look at the movie The Pretty Woman and see Richard Gere, and he had Julia Roberts as his partner. He was paying her to take to events and that. And the movie was broken down by The Take. It's a video channel. Very insightful. There were many, wow. There's a big fish jumping out there. Huge. I think, it's a big spinning shark. There were more prostitutes there than Julia Roberts. It was him parting out the companies and selling them and doing away with the jobs of people from around the world. Selling their soul for, or compromising their integrity for their own self-indulgence. I don't know that I can drop a bead on that fish. Well, it was a big shark that jumped about 3 or 4 feet out of the water, about a mile out. I'm not going to be able to get it. Was a nice thought. I've seen him do it. Some of the immersive augmented reality and some of the cinematography that they were talking about integrated sounds, movements in the person viewing it. And I thought about this. They showed a girl at the TED conference and they were talking about augmented reality. You can see it. And they were giving her the sensation of rocking on a swing, and they showed that view. And I thought, well, what if you were to flip that around and have her see that view when she was swinging actually on a swing? Kind of invert that. Think tank. Think outside the box. What is the box? Who determines the box? Joni, she's my wife, she'll say, "You're not normal." I said, well, good, you're paying attention, but who determines normal anyway? What is normal? What is real? The Morpheus line to Neo in the breakdown of the Matrix, when he's showing him the desert of the real. What is real? What you can see, taste, feel, touch. Okay, so what is true? What is true? I believe truth and reality are interchangeable exactly. What is the reality of the situation? That is the question that you will need to answer, whether you like to or not, whether you agree with me or not. So what I would simply say is to seek the truth with all your heart, because it matters for eternity. So now for something a little bit different, I'm going to take us out on the beach, and I'm going to try my my gimbal again. I've got to move my car. I can't leave it here when I go out there. I don't need to buckle up. Here, let's flip this around. So I will try the headphones again to see what it's like with the wind out there. Ooh, I've got to be careful. It'll pick up moisture. I want to dry that off. So I know that some are going to say, oh, the wind was too tough, too hard to hear. Oh, I've got another option. The MV88. I'm going to go with the surround sound speakers though. That'll give you a stereo speaker so you'll hear the wind and the birds and the rain somewhat. All right, here we go. Let's see what this looks like out here. Hey, good morning. So one of the practical things I can do is get out of the wind a little bit. Looks like a whole lot of seagulls found their way under here. There's still fishermen out there. Can you see them? Let's see if I can zoom in on them. Oh wow. So one of the practical things I have a request for is when I post the link of my Twitter account, it says to me that it's suspended. Now, earlier on when it told me my account was suspended, I didn't have the ability to change any features like my photo. Now I can. And apparently I can tweet, even though it told me previously I couldn't tweet because my account was suspended. What I want to know is, can anybody else see my Twitter? If we're connected there and you can let me know that, comment on my Facebook post, that would be great, because I've put it there. I want to know if other people will see it. Some of the people I'm connected with on Facebook, I'm connected because I sent out friend requests even though it said I had too many and I couldn't do it anymore. I kept on doing it. I'm persistent, to the irritation of some. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. I'm gonna give us an ending screenshot over here. I have great benefit for doing what I do. The deep satisfaction of walking with God. Whether it's this little puddle here or that massive puddle there, the physics and properties of water indicate the reality of the world we live in. Thank you so much for your public and private encouragement.